Look at that.
Okay, Danielle, let's rock. Thank you, everybody. I'd like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. You all rise? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all our brave men and women fighting all over the world for democracy and freedom, and especially those in harm's way. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Motion to approve the minutes from August the 8th, 2016 Town Board meeting. I need a motion.
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Authorize payment of bills.
I authorize you to pay the bills.
You like to pay the bills?
I'd like to pay the bills. Yep.
The amount is $140,120.87. I need a motion to pay that.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a presentation from Larry Morgan from Tilson Verizon Wireless Tower. Larry, you want to come up? Actually, it's Mark. It's Mark.
It's not Larry Morgan.
Larry's back there, right? Yes, please.
Right there's good.
I think you've been here before.
Yeah, he was here last time.
Go ahead, turn it on.
Turn it
I
on.
don't think it's on.
There you go.
My name is Mark Kulik. I am with Tilson Technologies representing Verizon Wireless. What we are proposing to do is enter into a lease agreement with the town to place a wooden utility pole on the northwestern corner of the property that is currently it's the cemetery across from the library. What we are doing, we're placing a PCS small cell, which is just a very small cabinet on everything is contained on the wooden pole. For anyone that was here last meeting, I kind of went through the same thing. But it's very straightforward, and we would like to see if the town would be interested in entering into that agreement.
Sure. I actually have a picture here for the audience if just want to. Danielle, could you just pass that around just to show what they're presenting? They show Mr. Reynolds there. Any questions for Mark?
I think basically anybody can add to that, though. You can sell part of that pole to different companies,
Or is that your call?
No, it wouldn't be, because
they wouldn't add anything else to that pole.
No.
That's the only thing would be.
that would be the only thing that's on there.
And that's in the contract.
Yeah, and so I would ask tonight the board to have permission to send the agreement, the land lease agreement to legal, and to review it. And if he has any problems, or if it's okay, if the board would give me permission to sign the agreement so we can move forward with the lease.
All right. You want that in a formal motion?
Yeah, please.
All right, I make a motion that we give Supervisor Lanzetta permission to forward the lease agreement to our legal counsel, and if legal counsel is in approval, then Supervisor Lanzetta can sign the agreement.
And I'll second that.
All in favor? Okay,
Okay, thank you very much.
thanks.
problem.
Thanks for coming.
You're very welcome, thank you.
Any questions from the audience?
What was the, I'm sorry, what is the range again on these? So how,
They are basically a quarter-mile radius.
quarter mile,
Yeah,
radius, right?
yeah.
Might help me up on Hudson Terrace.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, unfortunately, last time, the reports of the department's wastewater treatment facility, Tony Falco was in Chile, wasn't able to get any internet, but he managed to send it, so I like for the record to incorporate. Reported the Marlborough wastewater treatment plant for the month of July 2016. The average flow to the plant was 124,000 gallons per day. That is 75% capacity of design flow. The process is working well, removing 99% of BOD and 97% of suspended solids. On July 26, United Exteriors installed new roofing on the Marlborough wastewater control building and garage. All went well. Milton wastewater treatment plant, the average flow of the Milton plant during February 2016 was 29,000 gallons per day. This is 60% of capacity of design flow. The process is working well, removing 99% of BOD and 99% of suspended solids. Overall, both wastewater treatment plants are in good working order. The collection system is being monitored and maintained by Charlie Maggio and the Water Department. And if you need additional information, please do not hesitate to contact Tony Falco. Thank you, Tony. He's back from Chile. I guess he had a great time. Also, a little late was the town of Marlborough dog control. Basically, total number of calls was 14. Number of cases was 2. Most of everything else was copacetic. Number of dogs redeemed, 0. Everything was 0. But there was a little note on the bottom, I think that's worth announcing, and I don't know the status of this. I didn't call Andrew, but he would like to notify residents that there is an abandoned stray white female pit bull mix we are actively trying to trap in the vicinity of Conklin Hill Road and Milton Turnpike. Huh? Got the dog?
Did you have to go back today for him? I thought I saw another one. Somebody posted something about another white dog.
There was a German Shepherd and a white pit bull mix up in the area of Conference Hill up by Silvio's.
Yeah.
And we tramped the German Shepherd, but the pit bull we couldn't, we grazed her. So then she was skittish without the German Shepherd, so we caged her with food. We got her in all she made cages. She's now in one of our
Gardner.
garden pet houses. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very
Did
much.
you find the owners or no?
We are working on that.
Okay.
Moving on the side.
Okay.
That's good to know. Yeah, I know. It's not good when those dogs roam, I guess, I don't know.
Not good.
Any comments on the agenda tonight? Mark?
When you get to resolution 80 on circulation, and you give a little bit of background or split up the whole thing?
Yep,
Yep.
you're familiar with it.
Yep,
Like, if you can maybe, give a little background when you get to that resolution?
I will. Yep. Okay, item 8, workshop topics, sign law. We agreed that we're going to do that this year as soon as we're finished with our tow law. And unfortunately, we would have had that this week, but Rebecca Volk had a death in the family. And so she said that we'll have it for our next meeting, which would be good. Bayside, I just handed something out. Do we get it? And this is on the recreation building. I don't know if we come to any conclusion on that, have we?
I think it's still up in the air.
Okay. 2016 goals and objectives, I think we went through that last week. And we're doing fine. We got the sidewalks in Milton and in Marlborough completed, so.
Yeah, it looks good.
I took a nice walk down in Milton, saw that, very
Yeah.
nice, very nice job.
Took a nice walk down Church Street.
They did a great job.
Yeah, Marlborough,
Yeah, right
did a
now.
nice job.
It's a nice start.
Yeah, it's a great start. and we hope to continue. So if Bayside Recreation Building is still, we're still talking about that, we're still talking about the Tomback Building recreation use.
That's a combination there, right?
I haven't heard anything on the Milton Turnpike and 9W property in a while.
I've been asked by the owner, so I was wondering, I told him, Dennis is working on it, but it's been a while now, so
Yeah.
hopefully we'll have something soon. They're starting to get a little antsy.
Okay.
All right.
I think Howard wanted to talk about the Route 9W corridor study a little bit more tonight.
Yeah, I thought we should talk about it because hopefully we're going to actually do something about this. This is a grant that was awarded well over a year ago, and so we're trying to get it going through the Ulster County Planning Department, and I think we have almost reached an agreement on a meeting date to kind of kick things off sometime in September. I don't remember the exact date, but I think we ought to be prepared to let these guys know that we are very much interested in this study. And as I said in an email, I got some input from you guys in the past, but it's been so long, I can't find it. So, and Scott, he, sent an email with a lot of good ideas about what we would want to be included in this study. And I think he hit on pretty much everything we're talking about. I'll just read it if that's okay, Al. So
Yeah,
people-
sure.
okay. So here are Scott's thoughts. Make it more business-friendly, maybe pre-approved road cut designs from the DOT, maybe center turning lanes, north and south turning lane design plans, sidewalk suggestions to interconnect business with hamlets. Hopefully the study could tell us what the best locations on 9W would be to concentrate, to attract businesses, the types of businesses, what would they recommend as far as types of businesses. Can we get set up pre-approved lots for businesses, plug-in ready approved site plans, street lighting design plan, a gateway, a sign design plan for Milton and Marlborough hamlets, overlay suggestions for the new overlay zone law and design standards, repave the whole 9W corridor. It's a mess. Well, I don't think they need to do a study. Everybody knows it needs to be repaved. That would be a major enhancement. Better signage along 9W to direct people to historic sites, trails, wineries, pick your own farms, and that sort of thing. So those were his ideas, and so what are your guys' anything else you guys like to add?
Well, yeah, I think the pedestrian walkways, like in Marlborough, could be a lot better. It could be more signals, they have these things actually where they blink to make people know, say there's something right there. The funny thing is, if you really want to take your life into your hands and try to walk that walkway there, it's pretty tough.
You're talking crosswalk, right?
Crosswalks in Hamlet.
Right there by Pizza Town.
Yeah.
In the bank.
I think if the problem is it should be on the corner, which we've been saying that forever, and it's...
Yeah, I think that's where they told us they wanted to put it. But my only problem is if we get like somebody who's from New Paltz where cars are pretty much trained to stop when you're at the crosswalks, it don't happen in Marlborough. So,
Yeah.
I mean, New Paltz, the people are pretty well, they know to
So
stop.
you're afraid somebody ran.
Afraid someone's gonna
Yeah.
just like walk across thinking cars are gonna stop, and we're not really
Yeah.
conditioned.
Yeah, so maybe
Southern
the
Ulster.
proper, like Behem has shown us in the past, and what
I
it
think
should
there
look
was,
like.
I think it was in the Safe Routes to School study, they
Yeah.
had some nice crosswalks.
And I
design.
mean, and I'm on board with the, if we're gonna be developing the properties, I know it looks weird or awkward at first, but I drive through a lot of communities and you'll see like a commercial business open up and there'll be a sidewalk in front of it. It looks like it's not going anywhere. But when the next business opens
Yeah.
and they put the sidewalk, now, you know what I mean? And eventually they'll connect. I mean, I would definitely advocate for sidewalks, and that was what we were talking about with when we did the overlay, is that's gonna be one of the stipulations on the
We
site
do
plan.
that in the town now, because when Frank had to put those apartments, had to put his own sidewalk in front of him.
Yeah, but I mean, as we're going up the
And-
Well, there was a sidewalk there, he had to replace
We
it.
had to replace the sidewalk.
We don't want to revisit that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know, I got it.
absolutely, and that's a planning board issue and stuff like that, to make sure that they do put sidewalks in front of the new businesses, and I agree with you, eventually it does.
But this is the Route 9W corridor, so that's what we have to focus on. What else, Al? Did you have some other?
Well, I agree with Scott, the road is in bad shape. Unfortunately, we all know that all the monies is going down to the Tappan Zee, and there's no money for DOT, but this study is, I think we should put everything in that, that Scott has indicated, and I think, anything else that you guys come up with?
I'd also like to study, do we need the 4 lanes going through there? Is that, that could be adding to we're a pass-through town because we make this a pass-through town. Like, we were facilitating the pass-through town mentality. If you look, I think we get a lot of commercial traffic that is doing business north of Poughkeepsie, but the experienced drivers know that it takes them 3 times as long to traverse Route 9 with all the lights, as opposed to getting off 84 and coming up through here. And it's not only commercial traffic, it's also, businessmen, businesswomen that are traveling. And we basically created a giant shortcut, high-speed shortcut.
So you would be in favor of maybe cutting it down to maybe 2 lanes with a turning lane in the middle or something like that?
Center turning lane, yeah.
And maybe some
Yeah,
bike pathways on the outside or something like that? Or just
Turning lanes for sure,
turning lane?
lanes
Just
by
make
Tom
sort of
Beck.
a big turning lane, the entire...
Well, there's ways to do it. I mean, in the study, you can study which ways to do it. I mean, you can do it at some parts of the highway, like especially on Route 9 when you look at it, is they actually have the median, with the tree line median, and then
Yeah.
they cut into that for the turning lanes.
Right.
Which would make our intersections more commercial friendly. I mean, everybody I know who lives in town and has lived in town it's kind of crazy, and you got to keep your eyes in your rearview mirror when you're in the left-hand lane on 9W trying to take a left. To go either east or west. I mean, that is scary. You got cars coming up behind you at 60 miles an hour. I see it a lot. Jerry, you see it a lot in emergency services. That's a lot of accidents are started or because of that. Someone's taking that left-hand turn. They're in basically the fast lane, stopped. What's that? Yeah, I mean, Tommy got pulling into the 1650 Old Town Hall building. So, I mean, so that is, it's dangerous. And it makes a corner intersection, which would have commercial viability, kind of takes away from that. You know what I mean? So I'd like to see that included within the
So
study as well.
basically, you're talking about pretty much a permanent turning lane the entire length of the corridor.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want that, I don't like what to refer to it as, so I'm not going to say the word with the double arrows. But I mean, I think we could actually do, you could do like they have on Route 9, is where you actually have the trees and the mulch, going up the center. But then if you're going to develop an intersection, then you just take that out and you put in a dedicated turning lane, going to that intersection or to that business. If it sits not on an intersection, but on a straightaway,
Right.
you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and we would like your input also, Jerry, if you have time.
Yeah, Jerry, off the top of your head, right now, I'm jotting this down, I'm going to put it in with Scott's stuff, and I'm going to send it to Brian Slack, who's the Ulster County planning guy, because I think he thinks we don't have any interest in doing this.
I think it'd be better if...
Yeah, I just didn't want to say the word.
we send it to-
Yeah.
Okay.
That Lloyd has that one, and it works. It's a little confusing.
Sometimes if you're going in too
But-
early and you get into...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll send
You
it.
can have some head-on collisions.
Median thing, the only problem we run into is Poughkeepsie had a terrible time with that because of maintenance.
Yeah, they sub it out now.
Yeah, the trees and that's probably a little bit, oh, the expense, I don't know who's
Yeah,
going
but
to pay for that.
the state now actually subs it out to landscaping companies. They're not
Yeah,
really
but who
maintaining it.
pays to put it in to begin with? That would be,
That would be the state.
yeah. I just assume,
Anything on 9W has got to go through the state, obviously.
yeah.
Anything we can do to cause traffic to slow down, because this 55, and you guys see the numbers, the enforcement's through the roof.
Yeah.
And we're not even making a dent.
Yeah.
And our whole corridor, our 4-lane corridor is extremely too fast.
Yeah.
Chief Pfeiffer did a lot of work with the state, trying to get cement barriers built to the center.
Yeah.
Like the lower part of the road with the guardrail.
Yeah,
I
that,
don't think that's a great idea, because you can't make turns.
well, that's absolutely restrictive on any kind of growth, commercial growth. But
Anything that can be suggested to attempt to slow the traffic down, at least, for lack of better term, bottleneck it to slow them down.
Yeah.
They're not gonna change the speed limit, that's for sure.
No, I mean, I think you can keep it 55.
Narrow the ability for them to travel 2 lanes in such a long distance, I think that'd be a great advantage, and
Yeah.
people would notice more once in this town, because they're not just
Not using it as a shortcut either. You know what I mean? That's another thing. But just if you go back to like 2007 or 2008, Times Herald Record put out the top 10 deadliest roads in the Hudson Valley, and this was ranked. It wasn't number 1, but it was ranked right in the middle of it. This stretch of 9W in our town.
I can see.
Jerry, what about lights at intersections like the CVS area?
Again, I think they're great ideas to slow down traffic, but I truly, to know the trouble we went through to get the light at the school,
Yeah.
I don't see that they're gonna warrant a light in this.
Well, we have to ask, you know, we can ask.
You can
Do you-
ask, the biggest thing is,
Do you see, I mean, there've been a couple of pretty bad accidents there.
the only time that, they look at how many deaths.
I know,
Usually
I know,
based on
I know.
fatalities.
I know the game they play.
No, you can't, you're not gonna get.
So what would you
So it's a
recommend?
study.
2 lights there, 1 at each entrance and exit? Yeah, you know, either side of the parking lot?
Yeah, I think one light's gonna be.
One would be helpful, because everybody would notice.
And that would be on River Road, you'd want it, where River Road
Yeah.
comes out. Right, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Any other areas like that in
And while
town?
you're there, what we,
King Street, you think that ought to be,
I think that would help alleviate some of the traffic through the village,
yep,
because you just, 5 o'clock at night, you can't get out.
Yeah, you can't get out.
no. I go to back roads to get out.
Depending on somebody to be nice, and everybody's in too much of a hurry to be nice.
Actually, we could go, Howard, back to the study that we did with Creighton and Manning, where the 9W Western Avenue corridor with the lights,
turning lane?
and,
I mean, we should, the double light, we should have had one in front of the school, remember, that was the
Yeah.
original.
What's, they're familiar with all that, those
Yeah.
studies, so
Yeah,
they should
so,
bring them
I mean,
all.
we could-
Yeah. Yeah, and they're gonna say, well, yeah, we have that study for the Hamlet, we know all about that. They're gonna wanna restrict it kind of to north of Marlborough Hamlet to up through Milton. So,
so your input would be greatly appreciated.
The only other thing I'll caution you on lights is we don't want to turn the Route 9.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just,
Then you stall the town and then forget about it.
what about down here at the intersection with Willow Tree Road, where there's been bad
I think
accidents?
there's
Is there anything you can do?
Stop.
there's no traffic there.
I don't know if you have enough sight distance for,
Yeah.
I'm not an engineer, but
Right.
that's my just general opinion.
Just based on danger and accidents, and there have been deaths there, I know.
There have been fatalities there over the years. Are they prevalent? No. Are there lots of accidents there? Yes, there are.
The worst,
It would be a hard place.
Indian Road,
yeah.
Willow Tree Road, probably Old Indian Road more.
Yeah, I would say this, like, when we get dispatch and it says it's a PIAA on 9W, I immediately think it's either gonna be Old Indian Road, New Road. Those are 2 of the big spots right there. So those are the ones. Yeah, New Road's probably, Old Indian,
New road by the
and those
Little
are
League field?
bad.
Ball field, yep.
Yeah, and those are usually pretty ugly accidents.
Yeah.
When we get there.
Okay.
But again, right there, ideas, 1, 2, we just added 4 lights to 9W.
I don't think that's the answer. I don't think lights are
We're
the
not
answer.
gonna get them, we gotta try. If you get 2 out of 4.
We're not gonna get them.
I think if we lowered the speed limit,
You
put
get
in
2
a
out of
median
4.
and bring it to single
It's a good
lane
idea.
with turning
It's a good
lanes, I
idea.
think we can eliminate 90% of the accidents.
So what do you guys feel about roadside, the large signs? What do we call the large signs, the big signs? Billboards, yes. What do you think about billboards? Should we phase them out in 5 years, 10 years?
They don't bother
That's
me.
the sign law.
That's in the sign law,
Our
Well,
sign
we
law
get
is
to that.
addressing that?
We know Highland did it.
Highland did it, yeah, so that's why I'm bringing
Yeah.
it up. Do we have it in our new sign law code?
It's buried in there somewhere.
In that 10-year,
It's there, it's written, it's up to you guys to decide
Right.
whether you pass it or not. But it's already written there.
10 years, right?
Yeah, but I mean, Highland put up a shopping center, and we haven't, so I don't think, I don't know how much we follow them.
so billboards aren't a big issue for you?
I'm not a big fan of them.
Not either. I mean, part of what I want to get out of this, and I think we all do, is beautification of Route 9W. We've all spoken about it, right? We'd love it to look a little nicer. It doesn't really show off our town as well as it could. That's one step, I think, in beautification.
Yeah, I agree with you, but and I don't want to get off onto the billboard topic, but I think what the 9W corridor lacks is continuity. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it, as unpleasant looking as it is. There isn't any sort of continuity. There isn't anything there that says, I'm
Well,
still
that-
in Marlborough. It's
That
just sort of
speaks
like,
to the design standards, which,
yeah, which we need.
Well,
Right.
a lot of stuff is there,
Yeah, and
pre-existing, you know.
Right.
it's
Yeah, but we
hard
just
to
can't keep
control
rolling
that.
with it, you know what I mean?
I wonder, and I think Scott alludes to it also in his note, but, you know, we did this Route 9W overlay district. Maybe we need to refine that. You all agree with
Well,
that?
that was supposed to be, the overlay district, if you remember, we passed that to get the businesses and get, you know, to get some of the zoning changes and some of the businesses to be able to come in there. The design standards were part of that. We were going to finish that underneath the overlay, but then we said, you know what, maybe we'll do it and put it into a different plan. So we actually stopped on the design.
Yeah,
We actually
we're
have
going
it.
to hopefully
We're the ones who stalled it. 'cause
come
we
out
were-
of the LWRP
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, the
So we were,
LWR.
yeah, then we handed
Maybe
that
this
off
is
to
a
the.
better place to put it here. I don't know, but,
I think we can put some of it into here. I don't want to
Yeah.
do a redundant study, but I think some of it should be in there.
well, okay. Do you kind of agree that maybe our overlay zone needs some refinement, or?
No, it absolutely does. Our overlay
Okay.
zone doesn't have design standards, set design standards.
Aside
and
from the
that-
design standards,
No,
What's
I
that?
think you,
aside from design
I
standards.
think the code is been worked out pretty
we-
good
we-
3 or 4 times you went
Yeah,
through it.
we've revisited that one.
It's not working.
What do you mean, how's it
Well,
not working?
it's not the code that's not working.
What's-
I know.
But what's not working, Howard? I don't,
Well, there's no
It hasn't-
business,
it hasn't-
he's
it
referring
hasn't
to
really
there's no
promoted any-
business coming in and asking the board here.
We've only had
the-
one or
I
two.
don't know if that's what I don't know if that's what the overlay zone, what you thought that was gonna do. But before, when a business came in and asked, we had to tell them, go away. We're still waiting for businesses to come in. I mean, it's not,
Well, I think he's just saying that, that nothing, it's not the code, but it's just that people, like you said the other day, real estate is really not moving that much.
well, it depends. I mean, we can't just say, hey, look, we did this overlay zone, and like, people are just gonna come running to us. Like, now when people do come here, they actually have the opportunity to do something, to where years ago they
He's saying they're
couldn't.
not coming.
Well,
So
that, I don't
is
think,
there a
maybe
problem
we
with
need-
the
I think that's a
code?
national problem. I don't think that's,
Well, well, yeah, it is a national problem to a certain extent, but there are places that are
Booming.
and,
there are places that are booming. I mean, there's certain parts of this town that are booming, but
yeah.
it doesn't mean that the other part of town isn't worth it. It just means that no one's there investing
I
yet.
think Scott talks about it in his list here. What are the best locations on 9W we should concentrate on trying to attract businesses? So we created this generic overlay zone. Do we need to take one step further and say, and in this zone, if you really, you know, we really want to attract business here, and we're going to make it easier for you to do business here?
How are we gonna
Do
make,
we need to take that step? That's all.
How would we make it
The only way you're ever gonna get
easier?
businesses there is by the population has to be more concentrated. Business, the first thing they look at is the population density of the area and how much they support their business, especially the bigger
Yeah,
businesses.
we
They're
could
not
go
gonna move
around and around all
Yeah.
day on this one, baby.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's 9W.
Listen, I mean, when it comes down to you guys can pass anything you want.
yeah.
But the DOT is gonna approve the approach notes,
Right.
which becomes detrimental. They're not happening.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious with what we got going on.
Well, then that's what they need to address in the study. Make it easier. Somehow make it, help us.
But I mean, I think, yeah.
When you submit 30 sets of plans and they're all rejected, it's kind of tough. And that's in a zone that's allowed in the DOT to overlay it. It's an allowed use of the zone as a principle.
Well, then they need to know that.
They do know that. They have to be.
Well, they need to know it more. I mean, if that's,
Like Alan said, the overlay zone is there
Mm-hmm.
for anybody who wants to take it. So if that doctor, that lawyer, that business wants to come to my office and say, here, here's a residential piece of property, I want to put a business there.
Mm-hmm.
We've now said it's okay.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's kind of us waiting for somebody to come. We're not being proactive. We're just sitting back, and if you have something you want to do, we've made it maybe a little easier for you, but we haven't really,
Properties on 9W are very minimal for business. I mean, you're talking about quarter acre
I know,
properties,
I know.
half acre properties.
I know, there's limited number of places where it would even work. That's the main issue,
I
probably.
think so.
If we want to make it easier, I think we have to revisit what is allowable acreage to have commercial development.
Okay, well, then that's.
Which I think we've talked about revisiting, yeah.
You know, pre-existing is gonna be okay, you know?
But for new, what do you need right now? Let's say if I have a 3/4 acre lot, and it actually sits in the commercial zone, so I don't have to change it. What's my allowable usage on 3/4 of an acre?
Is it the HD zone?
Yeah.
Well, HD zone, if you create an HD parcel, you need 2 acres. That's creation of the HD parcel. If you exist in a parcel
DOT, and Ulster County Planning Board is gonna get involved.
So you see that, Tom, in your experience, as the major hurdle that's,
Major hurdle is the Ulster County Planning Board and the DOT.
and the DOT kind of,
Look at CVS. CVS didn't have much trouble. Why? Because their road cuts aren't on 9W. The road cuts are on the town roads.
right.
It was an easier situation for them. Lights are a great idea for things, but a light was shot down at the DOT meeting for patrolling. The solution there was put a light there. DOT said absolutely not.
Yeah, they didn't like lights.
oh, for Chestnut project?
They knocked down every turning lane, acceleration lane, everything else. Chestnut said, we'll put a light up. Nope, wouldn't allow it.
Right.
So the light would be the solution. That's what happens up in Highland. In Highland, same thing. They're dumping Sunoco Station. One comes out onto the town road, and it's a single access on going north on 9W corridor. They don't allow 9W access with southbound turns.
Right.
They give it the single access, but they have the town road that comes to the light, which alleviates the problem for their road on the state road.
And they only go one way when you go out.
They will
Yeah.
afford us the light
Yeah.
on the 9W corridor to give us that same situation. With the lights there, you can come out from north or south.
Right. So, and it's DOT, in my mind, that has more power than the Ulster County Planning Department, because,
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
federal.
so,
Supermajority override. The planning, the Ulster County Planning Board is a suggestion.
yes, believe me, I know that. Yeah,
Recommendation.
right.
But
So,
DOT,
right.
you guys can like the project all you want, the town can like the project. You're back coming with a $10 million.
So the message back to DOT on our Route 9W corridor, which we want to try to encourage more businesses, DOT, you've got to help us with these road cuts somehow. So in this study, tell us how to do that, right? You got $80,000 to figure that out. Here you go.
Tell us how to make the access to your corridor acceptable to you. Because it almost seems that if a business comes into town, they won't sit down and say, they don't do the study and say, this is what we want. Here's A, here's B, these are the two we like. They don't do that. It's submit us something, and we'll tell you if you like it or not.
Yeah, I know.
It ain't 1, 2, 10, 15, 16, no.
In a lot of cases, they'll tell you what to do, and if you don't do it, that's it.
They're not even giving us that.
Well, they have, yeah.
On the case in front of us today, the only solution was no north turn. That was their solution. Was no access to the 9W corridor with a north turn. Businesses in the town with that. You're gonna go on 9W corridor and not go north from that side or not go south from our side?
Yeah.
East side or west
Well,
side?
it's kind of like what Highland has done with their guardrail in the middle,
Yeah,
right?
but if you
I
look,
mean, that's a business killer, isn't it?
look at it, how many businesses are on that section that are open?
None.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
That whole stretch is barren.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's how the BC district was written in this book. It really frees things up to happen. I mean, we have the landscaping company going to final with that, and there's one or two other properties that potentially could ask for. But again, it's as they come, is how polite the DOT would be
Right.
on accessing that plan.
So, in your mind, Tom, in your experience, is 9W, it's the DOT with road cuts, it's lack of water and sewer,
Lack of water and sewer to attract larger
Absolutely.
businesses,
and
lack of larger parcels to attract
Yeah, we
larger
don't have large
businesses that need
parcels.
10, 15 acres at a pop.
and topography in general.
Yeah.
Topography in general.
It's bad.
Yeah. But do we have a list of, and I know we looked at this before, a list of vacant lots that could be developed? Do we know exactly where they are? Huh?
You got, the ones next to the shipyard.
You got Old Indian Road, you got Milton Turnpike.
Petroleum's got a piece of property, the topography is terrible, but they're willing to invest $1 million into making it right. I mean, that's far in between, that you're gonna get somebody to come in and spend $1 million for a piece of property, and then spend another $1 million to make the topography work for them.
So, let's take another example. I mean, this is a workshop, so we can talk a little bit.
You've been
Okay,
talking.
so-
I haven't stopped you.
Let's take another building right up here, north of here on the right-hand side. Used to be Red's Empty Package. What's preventing that from being developed more fully?
Well, it is.
At this point, the owner is using it.
Yeah, space.
He's got the one building up for rent right now. It's had some interest, but
what is it that prevents, if,
It's an HD district.
yeah, no, I know. If it doesn't have sewer, does it?
No.
No.
If it had sewer, would people be knocking?
Point any more attractive? No.
Why not?
Because he's using it.
He's using 50% of it.
Yeah, but it's taken a long time to get that building to a point where it's being used. Is it being used fully now?
One of the buildings is being used, 100%.
I'm trying to find out what your point is, because
My
somebody
point
owns
is, guys,
it. If
you're,
somebody
look,
owns it, right, it's
what
up
we're
to
trying to
them.
do is put together some plans that will help us, I think, make the 9W corridor more vital, attract business. We've had businesses here, you can't say, well, it's full now. Well, if we had something like sewer and water 5 years ago, would that building have been more attractive?
Right now, Milton, the old Woodward, the Milton Industrial Park is totally full.
Yeah.
There's no availability in it.
Okay.
They're all,
So the industrial park is full. Now, again, the other property you're talking about is being occupied.
Yeah, it's been unoccupied for many years, right?
no.
It's been
Brooklyn-
occupied.
Brooklyn Bottling was using that as storage for years.
It's storage. It has a
Okay.
pre-existing use with no change of use.
Okay,
Maybe it was a bad example, Howard.
all right. So it's been used for years.
Yeah.
That's why it had big signs on it saying
No, but it was
office
just-
space or
Just recently, when he purchased it, he was renting to one section.
okay.
When Brooklyn Bottling moved out, there was a grace period per se when the building was being sold and then reoccupied,
And there was also a fire.
fire, renovation, reuse, and now a portion thereof is being available for.
Okay, and kind of an ugly building
What
there.
I understand is that the owner of that property, that he's using it, he has the right, I know right as of now, I think he refused one or two people because he's being selective on his rental.
Okay,
What he wants there. It's not necessarily what we want,
okay,
what he wants.
right.
Because it has to be in relation to what he's doing there. He doesn't want certain things going on.
You're right. So let's move a little bit further north on the same side of the road. Some properties that are there that aren't too,
Vacant property, well overpriced, nobody wants to touch it.
okay.
Actually, the price, as far as I know, I've talked to 5 or 6 people that showed interest in it, but it's just, they couldn't afford to buy it and even occupy it.
Which one are you talking about?
I have no idea. When was it?
You're talking on the west side of the,
On the east side,
on the east side?
to the north.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that, the Modout lot?
Then you have a junkyard then you have a junkyard.
Yeah, conforming.
Place he's using as that.
Okay, well, that's what I'm getting at. When we say there's nothing we can do about it, maybe there is something they can do about it. Maybe there's something that they can tell us we can do something about these things. That's what I'm after. Something that we haven't thought of, that maybe will incent people to either sell their property. Well, sell it at a reasonable price.
You can't tell people what to sell it for.
Guys, you're closing your head. You're not. There are ways to incent people to do lots of things. So that's what we need help with. Unless we're just going to sit here and say, hey, that's for sale. We can't do anything about it. It's the way it's been for years. Can't do anything about it. Nothing's going to change. That's what I want to get out of this plan. If we're going to do something, we have to start thinking differently. We've been stuck here for.
What you're after is nothing that we can do.
Well, maybe they can tell us.
We've given enough incentive, as far as the town's incentive, to say, you're in the HD district, you can do 500 things on that property. But if the owner wants $1.5 million for a 3-acre parcel, and nobody's willing to pay it, we can't force them to sell it for $500,000 to make it.
I understand that. I understand that.
Those are the exact properties that you're talking about on that side. I know all 3 of those properties. I know the price of those properties. I know why nobody's buying those properties. Has nothing to do with the town of Marlborough.
Well, the guy doesn't want to sell them, essentially.
And I guess if you want to sell it, you would price it more to market value.
Right.
If you don't
That's what
want
I'm.
to sell it, you're going to put it out there at 3 times market
Okay,
value.
so maybe there's nothing we can do about that. Maybe there's nothing we can do about the guy further north that has a junkyard that looks like heck, right? we're just trying to, we all want to try to make this corridor a little nicer. And if there's nothing we can do, we can't do anything, then I guess we don't do the study. But I think we need to ask, can we do something about this? Can we,
Howard, not to interrupt, but I
And send
think,
people
I
to-
think what we can do to try to change something along the corridor, we can't tell people what they're gonna do with their property, as long as they're within town
And the
code.
taxes and-
But if we go back to DOT and say within this study, we'd like to...
what are we
s-
doing with design guidelines? That's exactly, you are
Howard,
telling
Howard,
people
let me
what
finish.
you're doing with this
Howard, let me finish.
property.
Let him finish, Howard, please.
What we can say is, maybe a lot it has to do, like the non-development along, or the non-attractiveness to the properties, has been, A, the speed limit, B, the 4 lanes, you know what I mean, the restrictiveness of accessing said properties. So there's a start. I don't know if this overlay or this highway corridor study is really gonna be for telling people what they should be doing with their property. More or less, this should be what, can we corral 9W?
I'm not after
and the
telling
traffic?
people what they should do with their property. I'm trying to incent people to do things that might be more in line with what we want, this corridor to look like. You can't tell people to do anything, no, you kind of have to incent them. And maybe there's some ideas
But-
out there
Yeah,
that
but
we haven't thought of, that this study, these are consultants, they should be able to come up with
Yeah.
something.
But what I'm going back to is, if maybe we can stop traffic from going 74 miles an hour,
Mm-hmm.
4 lanes across, maybe these properties now become a little bit more attractive to developers who could put a business in there.
Yeah.
But just don't want to see cars driving by at 74 miles an hour, so they
Right.
don't get pulled over by the police doing 76.
Okay. Yes, what I'd like to do, well, look, this is a workshop, we have time to discuss this thing.
I'm
Okay.
politely asking you, are you finished, so I could address
Take a question.
Mr. James?
Well,
If-
I guess
continue.
what I'd like to do is take these ideas down and mesh them with Scott's, and then, I guess with the approval of the
And with
board,
Jerry's, yeah.
and Jerry's suggestions, and then get them up to Brian Slack at Ulster County Planning, and so that he has some idea of what we're looking after.
I realize your frustration, because I get hit with it all the time.
Well, part of the frustration...
Why can't we become a Rhinebeck? Why can't we, it's just...
No, I'm not
it's
asking to
just-
be a
Well, I'm
Rhinebeck.
telling you my personal, what people were asking me, and I say, Rhinebeck's a different story. It's a common road, 9D, is it 9D or 9G?
It's 9, Route 9. Route
I
9,
mean,
good.
and it just lends it to itself. It's got the roads, it's got the infrastructure, it got everything.
It has a history.
Marlborough's unique, it's got 9W.
Yep.
The thing with that is, maybe the frustration on the business end is, and I think where you're coming from is the correct route, is but unfortunately, it only comes when somebody new comes in. When somebody new comes in to develop a property, we can put these design standards on them to start the process. But it's gonna take a while for that to work. But here's the real problem or the frustration with the new guy who comes in. The new guy comes in, and he's forced to deal with the DOT in a way that doesn't work for them. No light, no left turn, turning lanes, X, Y, Z. But the guy next door, who's pre-existing, doesn't have to do anything. He continues to exist with 200-foot road cut where cars can come and go anywhere they want.
Yeah.
But the guy next door, who's the new guy, has to now deal with not only the town's new design standards, sidewalks, stone, which is okay, but now they've got to deal with the DOT saying, the guy next door who's 100 feet from me, I can throw a rock at him, has a 200-foot road cut that does whatever he wants, and you're telling me I can't make a left turn and I'm right next door.
And that new guy, if he has the place next door that looks like heck, is not going to want to invest in that, right?
But then when you get somebody who does want to invest,
Yeah, but I can't see how he would want to.
that's happening. I'm not talking back, I'm talking about certain property.
I know what you're talking
He's able to do it, can't get any satisfaction at DOT, and he can kick his stone next door, and the guy's got 200-foot road cut,
I know.
he can run the right turns wherever he wants.
I know,
And he throws his hands up in the air, and all we can say as a board or as an inspector or a zoning guy is, it's not us.
right.
So I understand what you're saying, but the thing is, it's not us. We're here with open arms, I believe. I think you guys have done a great job over the past years to say, here we are.
Yeah.
And design standards and the BC district, I mean, those are great steps, but
Yeah.
it's gonna take time. Unfortunately, it takes the first guy to get in for that to start spreading. And we can't get the first guy in,
Well-
all the rest of this stuff is irrelevant.
I mean, I'm glad we had the discussion. I think the DOT is a real,
Well, we always know they were the elephant in the room, so.
yeah. So and I'm sure they know it, and I'm sure they've heard it lots of times, but
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt for them to hear it again. I mean, if
Yeah.
we have this meeting, maybe we're gonna have Tom at the meeting too, with whoever's gonna be at the meeting, to kick off this study sometime in September, which was supposed to happen a year ago.
I don't think they want
Business.
us to slow traffic down.
No,
No, that's the bottom line.
They don't want us to slow traffic down.
Yeah.
They don't want lights, they don't want curb cuts.
yeah,
They don't want-
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yep, I'm good.
James?
A couple of things, not questions, a couple of statements. One is, yes, DOT does not like a lot of curb cuts. The reason is they know from accident data that the more curb cuts you have, the more dangerous it is. So when you have a situation like CVS Plaza, they will absolutely, positively, in a situation like that, require you to go out onto the side street. That has been my experience 100% of the time. One of the things that you can do is, one, have the driveways where you can have shared driveways between two different locations. Forcing the developer to say, put the driveway in the middle where it can be shared, and then putting clauses into their site plan so that when others develop, they can also come through. You can go from site A to site B without having to go out on Route 9. That's another thing that they like to see, because it means less traffic coming in and going out. Now, most of these places, even CVS, does not generate anywhere near enough traffic to warrant a light. And basically, in most cases, the only way you're gonna get enough traffic to warrant a light is if you basically close off some of the roads and force the traffic into one particular place in order to generate enough traffic to get a light. Now, whether you actually want to do that or not, I don't know. But the two ways to look at things is either you spread it out into several roads, or you force the traffic into one location where you will generate enough traffic to get a light. So there are things that you can do on the planning board side in dealing with driveways. Now, one of the things that DOT does do often is require a site to have right turn in, right turn out, which is not really good here because there's no place to turn around. So one of the things that you might want to look at is, as part of the study, tell us where we can put a place where vehicles will be able to get into the left turn lane, and there will be enough room that they can make a U-turn and go in the opposite direction. Where there's enough sight distance and enough physical pavement in order to do that. Because, you're right, right turn in, right turn out is not going to work for most businesses here, because there simply isn't any way to reverse direction. And you can't even have on most of Route 9 because of the speeds, roundabouts, because you just can't do that with 55-mile-an-hour speed limits. But you basically need a place to turn around. One of the things that I had previously suggested, dealing with Kings Avenue, is to put a sign up and to put the markings in there that say, don't block the box. And to turn something that is generally a courtesy into something that is basically required by law, and which people tend to respect a lot more, and generally doesn't need a tremendous amount of enforcement, but I think is one of the things that would help there and is cheap to do.
What's it called, Jim?
Don't block the box.
Don't block the box. You put up a sign saying, don't block the side road, and then you paint cross-hatching in the road for
people going south could go right out.
Now, yeah, it would be nice to have pedestrians cross, not at the bank, but further north at the intersection, but DOT's never gonna allow that because of that wall and the cyclist is there.
Yeah, we realize it.
That's where we have DOT.
Or all the way down King Street. It won't have that restaurant.
Yeah, I've been there.
All right,
What's your second,
that was a second.
That was it.
that was the second?
He ran one to the other.
There were no questions or statements.
Oh, okay.
He ran one
That was
statement
it.
to the other side.
Okay.
I hope you'll think about
Thank you, James.
encouraging the planning board to do that, and it's tough. It's tough to have these companies agree to do these kinds of things.
Okay, open.
And even if it's not developed yet, you tell them, put it in, and when they develop,
They'll know.
they will.
Okay.
As far as these 100-foot curb cuts, if DOT does come and redo the road, not just repave it, but they actually redo it, they will close up some of those curb cuts to their standards.
Thank you, James.
Okay.
Item 9, old business. Tomback Building, we talked about that. Municipal parking, the sign is up here at the school for the businesses in Milton. Proposed water agreement, I sent something today from Ron. I guess there's one last thing that hurdle. I agree kind of with Scott. Anyhow, the Milton sewer expansion, that's in the hands of Mr. Larios.
Can you give Mr. Larios a call, just and ask him, you want me
I
to
did.
do it? You did, because I'd just like to have an answer.
On this, yeah, we're waiting for the design. He actually did he got the survey from Brooks and Brooks,
Okay.
and he's doing the design for the DOT.
So we should have it soon. I just want to be able to get back to
We
the
are
land.
trying to get, I'm telling him that we would like to see a shovel in the ground before the end of the year, you know.
Okay, that's what I'm kind of telling the
Yeah.
people to. Okay, I just want to have
And
something to go back to.
he keeps on saying he's trying.
Okay.
So on the proposed water agreement with Newburgh, I mean, you sent out the email, you got
Yeah.
some of our comments back. So,
I don't know if we want to discuss.
Yeah, I don't want to really discuss this right now.
Contractual agreement, right?
okay, whatever you want.
The Bayside project, I just got the mailing today, I just handed everybody else out. That's the petition between, the difference between the EIS and whether we're going to go to a supplemental or go to final. Design standards, we talked about that. And the sign law zoning changes, we talked about that.
Seems to me we need to clean up our agenda a little bit, right? We're going over the same thing
I
twice.
think a lot of people still want everything on it, and you make a motion, you want to take it off. I mean, most of these things are still pretty important.
Believe me, this is a lot shorter than it used to be.
So, the Verizon cell tower and Milton water tank, that's coming along. There's a few items there that have to be cleaned up because of the easement problem.
Can I ask a question about that? On the water tank in Milton, Alan,
Yes.
you probably know about this, going back a couple of years. Was it suggested that we move the tank to a higher point?
No,
That one?
Or was there,
there's a suggestion to build a new water tank
well,
off of
whatever,
Ridge.
not move it, but yeah, put it,
Yeah.
Up
put
near
it,
Ridge Road, yeah.
Yeah.
Ridge Road or just on the
It
hill?
was all, it was Mr.,
Development they were putting up there.
no, it was, actually, it was Mr. Clark, Leonard Clark. We were in the final agreements to sell, actually, the first one was Martin.
Yeah, it was Martin.
Martin's farm.
On Ridge
Martin
Road.
backed
Which was bought by
down.
Vanguard.
I think he passed away.
Yes.
Yes.
And then it went to Leonard Clark.
Oh,
And-
closer to further north, I guess.
Yeah, it's a big oak tree, and the elevation was good for Dennis Larios in that study and the whole
Could
thing.
have done Milton and Marlborough from that point?
It was basically to,
Or just
because
Milton.
of the low pressure at
Ridge Road.
Ridge Road.
Ridge Road's got low pressure problems.
Right,
Too many people take a shot at the same
Right.
time.
right.
So, basically, so that's the $1,046,000 that's in the fund.
Yeah,
So that's what's there that we're gonna use to pay for.
yes. So that's what that was for,
Yes.
which never materialized.
tank
Yes,
fund.
yes.
And why didn't
I
it
think the
materialize?
pressure-
Because it
excuse
what,
me?
it didn't materialize because the,
It didn't materialize because, one, we we had this agreement, we were gonna buy the property for around 50 grand. And also give them some development rights where, I think Steve was gonna do some houses there, so they were gonna use the water for that, and, then lend it back to us, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, okay.
So, but that, and I think the pressure now is pretty much, I don't think it's as bad as it used to be.
I don't think they get as many complaints. I mean, you'd have to
Yeah.
ask Charlie, but I think they changed the pressures, and then they changed a couple of reducing valves along the way.
Yeah,
So there's higher pressures coming out of the pump station, and then they reduce that pressure to places that don't need it, and then transfer the pressure to Ridge. So it's gotten
yeah.
better.
And actually, Mazer did a study on it too, at the time. We're still waiting on the okay to spend some money for an RFP for the train station, for the lead removal. Thank you, Ed.
You're welcome.
So,
Can we go back to one item, because...
sure, we could go back.
Sale of Tomback Building, Recreation Center, we got an estimate to have a guy do an appraisal of the property where the Presbyterian Church is. And we told the church that's what we were gonna do. I just think we need to get back to them to tell them, are we not gonna do that, or it's on hold, back burner?
I would say it's on the back burner. I don't know what the rest of the board would think. I really don't know if I want to...
So what happened there, guys, just Cindy contacted an appraiser in Rhinebeck, and he gave us an estimate to do an appraisal of that property so we could have an idea of what it's worth.
I remember that. What was,
And I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember the dollar amount.
It was to do the appraisal?
Yeah.
It was a couple of bucks, a couple thousand or something like that. That's something. I think it was, wasn't it now? It's
Yeah,
over
I think it was.
Between
24.
1,000.
It seemed pretty high at the
2,400
time.
or
Yeah.
something like that? Can we get a second opinion on an appraisal price? I mean,
Well,
it's-
do we
Right now,
want
we
to
don't
do
need
it?
to do it.
Do we want to do it? Do we
If-
want to spend the money? Do we want to buy
Even
that
less than
land?
we go.
I mean,
Do we
if-
want to spend that money?
I don't think it's a bad location. I don't like spending money, but I think if we were to look at a location, that's a pretty good location to put a rec center. So I don't know.
Maybe we should ask Cindy to get another.
I mean, we spend $50,000 on studies all the time. So I mean, this is technically a study.
It is, yeah. It's not a,
So I mean, it's not, if you look at the scope of what
We don't
we've,
spend $50,000 in stuff.
not our own money,
We
usually
usually
somebody
get
else's
grants.
money.
I mean, it's money, taxpayer money come back to the town, but
Right.
taxpayers are not going to go for us spending any $50,000.
I
But-
think I asked Cindy about it, and she said, well, that's sort of the standard rate now. Maybe that's the standard rate from a guy in Rhinebeck, I don't know.
yeah, I
So
mean,
maybe there's another
we should ask
person
a
that
couple
can.
more times around.
Right.
I mean, look,
My question is, do we really want, so...
It's
we
okay to,
think about
it's
this.
okay to go back to the church, I'm sure, and say, look,
Yeah,
it's on
well,
hold.
I'm trying to lay this out.
Yeah,
Do we want to spend the money, first of all, for the appraisal? And then the next step, because we went through this with the town, man, we spend a lot of money going back and forth, different administrations, no fault of anybody, but it just spend a lot of money. and
On plans.
The end result is we're here because of the opportunity around.
Right.
So, do we really want to think it out? Do we really want to build, get the price, the appraisal of the land? Do we really want to invest in that land? Do we want to have the builder build a recreation center there, which would then be a tax pilot? I mean, it has a lot of implications besides just getting an appraisal.
right, I think,
I think
right,
at this
well
point,
then, if that's the case, then we'll just stop talking about it.
yeah, we ought to, exactly, we ought to
No,
decide
just stop
whether
talking
we-
about everything then.
Right.
Because what are we just gonna, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, I don't like to spend money. And I don't like being taxed either. But we had the discussion to say, what would be the options? We all got polled to say what would be the places we'd want to do.
Right.
For most of us, that came up as our second option. Okay? So that means just take it completely off the docket and just say we're just not gonna do it. Tell the church that, you know what, we're not gonna spend $2,400,
Well,
because
I
we're
don't
just
think
gonna
that's
stop
what we're
talking
saying.
about
I
it.
don't think that's what we're saying.
That's not nothing what I'm saying.
But,
What I'm saying, I think the reason we shouldn't spend it right now is, I think when we decide which way we're gonna go, I mean, what the appraisal comes out is not gonna make our decision on where we're gonna go.
I
So
agree.
once we
No,
go
but
to
it's gonna-
Presbyterian Church, and that's when we decide where we're gonna go, then we spend the money on the appraisal. Right now, it's immaterial what the appraisal is.
Well,
That's not gonna change our mind where we're gonna go.
Right, so the deeper question is, do we want to pursue a rec center, period, at all?
I think we
Forget
do wanna
where it
pursue
is.
No, we do wanna pursue it.
we do
Do we-
wanna pursue
Okay,
a rec
we
center.
do
I'm
want
saying
to,
we
so
just
then
take
how
that
do
one
we,
off the
then
list.
how do we start?
We're not taking it off the
Well,
list.
that's what I'm saying, if we don't do the research, how are we gonna know if that's even feasible?
The appraisal's not gonna tell us it's feasible, no?
It's gonna tell us how much the property's worth, and that's gonna be a big part of it. If they say that it comes back at
think
this,
we
and the
need
church
to-
wants this much money, we're gonna say no.
But I think you put the cart before the horse. I'd rather wait to see that we're gonna use that piece of property, then have an appraisal, and if that knocks it down, then we spent the money on a place that we actually were gonna move the rec center to.
So we do want a rec center, we do want to pursue that.
Absolutely want a rec center, yes, I've said that since day one. we want a
Okay,
rec
so then where do we go from there?
I think maybe then we just have this discussion with Scott and, get a consensus of where we're going.
Yeah, what is it we want to go after, and where's the best
Are
place
we
to put it?
willing to give a tax pilot to the fellow that's gonna build a 104 apartments?
So-
Do we wanna do that? Do we wanna say, okay, or,
So do
you
we
know,
wa-
are
Let
we
me just,
waiting
let me just
the
ask a
sale-
question while
the
we're having
sale of,
let me just,
Combat?
while we're having an open discussion,
Yeah.
this pilot, did this pilot come up, just answer this for me, did this pilot come up based on the rec center, or is the rec center being based on the pilot? Because I'm just gonna ask that one right now.
The pilot is on the basis if we have him build a rec center.
And that's the only way the pilot came up?
Yep.
From the developer?
Yep,
All right, just wanted that answered.
absolutely.
All right. just
So
wanted an
maybe,
answer.
Al, the next workshop we dedicate to discussion of this?
Yeah.
This kind
I think you need all 5 people here to do it.
so all 5 people?
I agree with everybody here that we have to have the discussion and we have to say, okay, Right now, it's 2 to 3 that we don't use the Tomback building, and we don't use Scartato's money, okay?
Well,
So-
we had that vote,
We
it's kind
didn't
of a-
say we're
that-
not using,
That issue is,
we're not saying we're not using Scartardo's money for a rec center.
no, I'm saying for the Tomback building.
Because we can use the Scartardo's money if we were to go somewhere else for a rec center,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Right.
All right, so 1 month hence, we'll have this in-depth discussion about the
The
rec
next-
Yes.
Let's just use that as the only thing we talk about.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Well, leave it.
And okay, I'm just going to tell the church it's on the back burner for now.
Yep.
Yep.
Stay
They're
tuned.
not off the- they're not off the-
Stay tuned. Okay.
James?
One of the things you might want to think about is what exactly do you want in rec center?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Let's figure out where it's gonna go first.
Parking lot size, because that may determine site A is not big enough.
Exactly, James, that's what we're looking at.
That's why
We're
we're
looking
having a
at.
full discussion the next meeting.
Yeah,
Next
we're
meeting.
looking at that, James, exactly, how many square feet, how many yep,
Yep.
thank you.
Good.
Yeah, change the,
We're gonna change the September 12th meeting. Is it all right if we change it to the train station because of the,
because they're having the primary.
their primary is gonna be here?
That works
that our
good for
first
us,
meeting?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
Our first meeting's on the
they
12th.
get about the
They
same
got
amount of
internet now.
people.
Well,
Then we can fit 'em in.
and they've got internet down there now too, right? So
Uh,
in theory,
We do have internet, but,
I don't think we'd be able to link to this system, though, would we?
yeah, we're talking about,
All right,
yeah, it's
gotcha.
not gonna happen.
Gotcha.
I make a motion that we move the September 12th meeting to the train station.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, moving right along. I have a few correspondence. Boy Scouts of America, September the 25th, 2016, Pack 73 and 72 want to use the Cluett Chants. Everybody okay with that? They want the waiver to, of course, waive the waiver of $300. John Catone.
Yes.
Fine.
Second, I need a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Mr. Kokoza, congratulations, we got a $4,560 grant.
Good job.
Good job, Jim.
This is for safety,
Driving the folks from Buffalo, New York, County Grant.
How much?
$4,560.
May I ask Jerry a question?
You may.
Any feedback from Saturdays, or don't you want to talk about it?
John Hellmeyer, an email with no response to this, so I'm assuming
I asked him the same thing.
tied up, so I don't have results for you.
Okay,
But I will get them forward to you.
okay.
And one last correspondence, Kathy Ritter and Bruce Ritter, do you know them? R-E-D-D-E-R?
No.
We are writing to request that the town place a tractor crossing sign near our property at 196 Willow Tree Road, adjacent to our property. We have apple orchards on our property, thus workers need to drive the tractors back and forth to care for the orchards. Traffic has significantly increased over the past few years, and many of the cars passing our property go quite fast. This poses a danger both to us and to the workers driving the tractors. The lower portion of the orchard entryway is below a slope in the road, thus there is limited visibility for oncoming cars. In addition, there's a very large orchard across the road which also has tractors and tractor trailers going in and out throughout the day. Anybody familiar with 196 Willow?
I'm thinking they're referring to the area by Chris Brothers,
Probably.
Yeah,
between Lily Lane and Vandale.
where they have the stop
Okay.
sign.
Yeah.
That's the only place I'm picturing in my head that has a big enough orchard on both sides.
Would be just past B.J. Mickelson's flower farm.
Oh,
It would be east of his flower farm.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if we do that, I mean,
You know,
It seems high to be 196 though, doesn't it? We just had a fire call up there and it was 3-something. In the duplex?
I mean, it's a reasonable request,
Reader,
but I
R-E-E-D-E-R.
196 sounds lower to me.
have them all over the place.
Is that down by Slick Rhodes' old orchard?
The big orchard's on the left, and there's literally like 8 trees, or 8 rows on the right. That's before Vandale, that's the
I
east.
mean, you got farms on Latin Town Road where they're going fast.
yeah, I agree, Ed.
Put a
I
sign up.
think we would have signs all over the place. I know the highway superintendent
Talk
is
to
not
Gil.
in favor of it, and the,
He's not?
no, he's not.
All right, then I'll take his opinion.
Okay.
He's the highway superintendent.
I agree.
Okay.
It's,
I'm right over
they're
there.
going a lot faster on Latin Town Road, past you.
I should have them by my house.
Any public
Happens all the
comment?
Oh, one thing, I know
Yes.
we brought it up. You want me to bring it up here about usage of the hall? I didn't I'll write a letter, but for the DEC for the snowmobile thing? Can I get a motion?
Yeah, everything's cool, Bob.
Everything's cool.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, so I'll
yeah,
call them
yeah.
and everything's good.
I checked with Colleen, I
Good.
sent it to
All right.
Colleen, she said it's not a problem, it's on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be great.
Gotcha.
Yeah, good
Thank you.
service, that's for the snowmobiles, right?
We do it annually down here every year, but we just can't because of the construction.
Well, since we're on that, I noticed that all the materials there for
Yep.
the sewer,
Yep.
right?
The
Do you know when he's gonna start, or Gail's gonna help?
I
with
know
the-
when he's not going to start, just assuming, he's doing a large project for his school, so I imagine he's got a deadline called first day of school, so I think he's probably going to concentrate on that, but they've agreed, everything's
Who's
been
this,
agreed.
Charlie?
No, Maggio, oh, those guys?
Yeah.
You're talking about the sewer?
Yeah.
No, Gail's got a big project going on, and once he's done with that, I think a week and a half, 2 weeks, but the building itself won't be started until September.
Okay.
Somewhere in there, but they're going to start as soon as they can. Gail's just got a big, I think he's doing a big culvert on
Okay.
Bellissima or something like that.
All right. Just wanted
But
to
it's there.
ask. Let's go right to the resolutions.
Go, go.
So, Mark, on Resolution 80, basically, to sum it up, would you like to sum it up, Howard? Or want to give me, I'll give it a stab?
Go ahead, give it a stab.
Okay, so, actually, I think Tom would be better to give it a stab, because me and Tom have been working on this, but it has to do with an RV repair guy on Latin Town Road, and has to do with a site plan. So, taking it from that, I'm going to give it to Tom, and you could explain it, Tom, if you don't mind. I know.
So what happened is, I did my job with violation of the site
So that's what this resolution is about. So, whereas in Article 78, action was commenced by the filing and service of a verified petition by R.F. Michael Enterprise Incorporated and Rich Michelle, petitioners regarding the premise known as, and by 281 Latin Town Road, Marlborough, New York, with rear depending of threatening enforcement of code violation for operation of business in excess of the site plan approval conditions. So exactly what Tom said. So I'm not going to read the whole thing unless you want me to, but... So Daniel Russ was our lawyer, our attorney with this, and it turns out that basically, I think the gentleman was looking for time to look for another place. We would have liked to give him just 2 weeks to get out and clear up his mess, but that wouldn't work. So we thought 2 months, but then the judge thought 3 months would be the ample time. So he has to be out by November? 9th. November 1st or something? 9th. So that's the long and short of it. He dropped all charges against Tom and Marlborough, and he has this time to get out. Now, if he doesn't get out by that time, according to the resolution, he's all the fines that he has accumulated over that time he'll have to pay, which is a pretty stiff fine. And then you could actually put him in jail, too. So, that being said, Danielle?
Yes.
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 Yes, thank you. So, this is just a formality, and it's to oppose the proposed anchorage in the Hudson River. And we did this, we signed this with Frank Scartatos, who represented our town, and he had this press conference down by the river. You were there, Mark. And so this is just to enforce that, where the town of Marlborough really doesn't want any vessels parked in front of our Milton Landing or Marlborough Landing. Yes, it actually is. I think it's 70-some acres in Milton.
74 acres in Milton and 154
54?
in Marlborough, but the
Twice the
Milton
size.
one would be south of the Milton Landing. There's a buoy that you see when you're at the landing. So it would be from the buoy south, and then, so it would probably be in front of Woodcrest and a little bit around that area. The one in Marlborough is going to be directly across from the Marlborough Yacht Club.
Yep.
Yep.
That's where that 154 acres would be right
Not only Marlborough, Milton, Roaston, and Newburgh, there's 4 spots.
Right there.
Yeah, Dennis, Opus, Roaston.
Newburgh one's horrible, it's
Kingston.
right in the middle. Newburgh's the biggest one, I think, right?
I think so.
And you know, the river keeper, of course, are against it because of the environmental issues. There's a whole bunch of issues. The thing is that everybody feels is that they just want to get this crude oil and store it until the price of oil comes, and then they can move it. So,
Floating tank farm.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And it'd be an environmental disaster if anything happens. So,
Chicken biscuit.
Danielle?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, you interviewed these people. Ed, would you like to do Resolution 82?
To appoint part-time police officers, Supervisor Lanzetta proposed the following. Whereas the police committee has interviewed for the position for part-time police officer, and whereas the recommendation of the police committee as well as the chief of police to appoint Joseph Wazalewski as part-time police officer, now therefore be it resolved that Joseph Wazalewski be appointed effective immediately, contingent upon a background check, and moves for its adoption. Yes.
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 And just so that the board is aware, we appoint Joseph Wazalewski.
How are you? Are we pronouncing that right?
How'd I do with that? Good?
And depending on how the next resolution goes, Mike Russo.
Okay,
And I'm
great.
like,
Thank you, gentlemen.
thanks, guys.
Now, you stipulate that once that this resolution, that they're here for 5 to 10 years, right? They
They can't
go
leave,
no place.
right? They can't up and leave.
We discussed that in the interview.
Okay, go ahead, Ed, please.
To appoint part-time police officers, Supervisor Lanzetta proposed the following. Whereas the Police Committee has interviewed for the position for part-time police officer, and where it is the recommendation of Police Committee as well as the Chief of Police to appoint Michael Rizzo as part-time police officer, now therefore be resolved that Michael Rizzo be appointed effective immediately, contingent upon a background check, and moves for its adoption. Yes.
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 Congratulations, guys.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys. And we have a Resolution 84 to appoint part-time dispatcher. Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following, whereas the Police Committee has interviewed for the position of part-time dispatcher, and whereas it is recommended of the Police Committee as well as the Chief of Police to appoint Kara Shire as part-time dispatcher. Now therefore be it resolved that Kara Shire be appointed effective immediately, contingent upon a background check, and moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes. It's too early to leave. You think we
I make a motion.
Never too early to leave.
Make a motion, we get out of here. I make a motion, we,
Tom?
okay,
No.
threat of.
The Article 78.
Which is stated in the resolution.
I'd state
Yeah.
I'd state that to Mark.
Right. Right. The Article 78. I did mention the article, whereas in Article 78. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, did you get that? Mark?
Mark,
It was in Article 78.
not a
Did you
lawsuit.
read it? It wasn't a lawsuit. Yeah, it was in Article 78. Well, you have the resolution right there, Mark.
Yeah.
And this is,
We didn't get sued.
and this is a
No
clear-cut,
giant lawsuit.
clear-cut violation on this guy's part.
Jerry. It's
Way,
down by,
way out.
just past Clark's Lane.
Why don't you go and take
That
some pictures up
196.
there in Latin Town
figured
and
it
see
was
what
too
we're
low, yeah,
talking
it's right
about?
Yeah, go right to that,
Right by Borchards.
across from Borchards.
I got a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Come on, Al. You could kill a couple, kill it to 9.
We didn't have our names up.
Oh, man. That's right. Hey, James.
When you discussed this with Ron,
Yeah.
mentioned to him that he's gonna have to tweak the code. I mean, 'cause, you know, you guys are passing it, it's
Right.
all well and good, and we want it, but there's gotta be something in the code book that allows it.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing he's proposing, it's all good, but the code book has just gotta give an exception to these, and/or add that a permit should be taken for these, so the town knows where these are. And the permit should basically ask what pole numbers it's on, where they are, what the location is. That's what I'm saying, so it's okay. I gotta have an the town's gotta have an application on file, private, state, county, whatever they are.
I'll talk to him.
So just
Yep.
tweak the code and. This is great, because obviously we're making a monetary, when he put the 11 on 9W, we get no money. There's one, there should be a permit in place, and two, we should know where they are with the pole they're on, so that the town has a record of these being in town.
Even though they're not on our row, right?
Right, even though they're not on our property, they're in our town, we should know where they are. If somebody says, Verizon comes out and all of a sudden 18 shows up, says, where are you?
I see him on the newspaper. No, they didn't, definitely didn't. And they were supposed to give us new, what do they call those bins for, the trash, too. That's why the rents, they invoked the rental fee.
Well, I'm sure they will eventually come.
Yeah, well, but they got new ones for the recyclables, which they didn't, there's no rental charge associated with those.
Well, it may be, you know, when you think about how many towns, over 20 towns, and they each have, you know,
Yeah, maybe.
8 of them,
Yeah.
they probably don't get them all in one shipment.
Maybe. Probably.
They wait for the money to come in, and then they
Yeah.
kind of space it out a little.
All right, well, I'll ask,
We'll see.
so you talk to Walt, he says, well, somebody's gonna give it to me, okay,